All right, today we're diving deep. Think of this as an intellectual salvage mission. That's what the source material calls it. We're digging up a story that was buried for a reason, a forbidden narrative that got a little too close to the truth about the real price of knowledge. So let's get into it.
And this quote, this one from the text's mysterious archivist, it just nails the whole vibe, doesn't it? The central idea we're playing with here is that real enlightenment, you don't just get it for free. It's not a gift. It's something you buy. And the price? Well, it's a tragic exchange. It's a contract you make in the dark.
So you gotta ask, right? Why would anyone suppress a fable like this? Well, it's because it blows the lid off what the text calls the vile economy of the mind. I mean, think about it. All the little hidden deals and compromises we all make just to feel like we understand something. We're about to peel back the curtain on the story they really didn't want you to hear.
And this is where we get to the core of it all, the Faustian inversion. Now forget everything you think you know about Faust. This isn't your classic tale of sell your soul, get power, regret it later. No. This reframes the whole pact as a necessary tragedy, almost a noble one. It's saying that this deal is the only way to get your hands on a certain kind of forbidden truth, the kind of truth that the big institutions would absolutely call heresy. Okay, Act 1 begins. And who steps onto the stage? Our antagonist, Mephistopheles. But listen, you need to get the image of some red devil with a pitchfork right out of your head. In this version, he's a master of words, a cosmic trickster. His only weapon? Language. So how does a guy like that get the job done? It's not with fire and brimstone, that's for sure. It's with logic traps, with killer arguments. He wields sophistry, really intricate wordplay, and these ironclad legalistic contracts that are just dripping with ambiguity. He basically corners the seeker with their own logic and just takes apart their certainty, one little piece at a time.
And here, right here, is the absolute core of the psychological trap. It's brilliant, really. The seeker isn't just handing over their soul in a bag. No, they're trading something much more subtle. They trade the spirit of becoming, all that potential for growth, for change, for the spirit of gravity. That's the heavy, soul-crushing weight of a fixed reality. It's like trading the entire open sky for a very solid ceiling.
Now we hit Act 2, and this is where things really ramp up. The scene changes. We're suddenly in the city of ash hues. Just picture this decaying, gray landscape of crumbling institutions. And in this setting, Mephistopheles changes his costume. He's not just a trickster anymore. Now, he's the prosecutor. As the spirit of negation, he's about to put society's most sacred beliefs on trial.
I want you to really picture this. A full-blown courtroom showdown. This isn't some quiet philosophical chat. It's a formal indictment. He's charging the very structures that hold our world together. It's the ultimate debate, really, your individual liberty versus the dogma of the institution.
First up on the docket, marriage. And Mephistopheles' argument is brutal. He calls it a gilded cage, not a sacred union. He says it's a system designed to trade that wild, untamed fire of passion for the cold comfort of stability. The accusation is that society cares more about the structure itself than the actual living people inside it. It's cynical for sure, but man, it's a compelling point. Next, he turns his sights on church authority, and he doesn't hold back. He mocks its rituals, calling them a pathetic economy of virtue. He's basically saying you're trading your real, messy, beautiful life for what? The promise of a theatrical grave? From his point of view, the whole system isn't about celebrating life at all. It's about denying the now for some supposed reward later. So here's the really important part to grasp. Mephistopheles isn't just some bad guy on the outside. He's the voice of that internal gesture. That little nagging doubt in the back of your own mind. He shatters our collective social pride and makes us look at what's underneath, showing us that maybe our most revered institutions are just really fancy walls we've built because we're terrified of the abyss. And when that mirror shatters, the seeker is left with, well, nothing but a terrifying new kind of clarity.
And that clarity, it leads the seeker straight to the philosophical peak of this whole journey. Once every single one of their certainties has been completely torn down, they're forced to face a reality that is stark and, frankly, terrifying.
It's a concept called the logic of zero. What is it? It's that gut punch of a realization that all unearned status, all the pride we get from institutions, all those social honors, at the end of the day, they mean nothing. Zero. It's the understanding of the absolute insignificance of all the stuff we build just to feel important. That is a very tough pill to swallow.
But in this fable, it's the only key that unlocks forbidden knowledge.
And that brings us to the final act. Act 3. The Seeker has signed the contract. They've swallowed the logic of zero, and now they go through one last transformation. They're not just part of society anymore. They're a subverter of it.
And here's the final beautiful paradox of the whole thing. This new enlightenment makes the Seeker a total outcast. Society rejects them, of course, because they question everything. But here's the kicker. They're also rejected by the so-called Council of Inferno. Why? You'd think they'd fit right in, right? Nope, because they've become too honest to play any game. They won't serve any status quo, not even a demonic one.
So, where does that leave our Seeker? It leaves them alone, walking a tightrope, a fragile little rope, stretched out over an abyss of pure nothingness. And what this text suggests is that this is true courage, not pretending the darkness isn't there, but looking straight down into the void, and still choosing to relentlessly, stubbornly affirm your own existence.
The curtain falls, and the archivist steps back out onto the stage to give us the final word, to tell us why any of this actually matters. And this really sums up why this text was considered so dangerous. It was buried because it wasn't just a different opinion. It was a blueprint that exposed the mechanics of intellectual censorship. See, by calling this way of thinking heresy, the powers that be hope to frighten you away from what the text calls the liquefaction of the soul, which is just a poetic way of saying the melting down of your old certainties to find something realer, something deeper.
So we're left with the archivist's final challenge, and it's aimed right at you. The hook is set, as they say. Now that you've heard the terms of the contract, what are you? Are you a companion, someone brave enough to sign on the dotted line for a difficult truth? Or are you just another member of the credulous mob, content to stay huddled and safe down in the valley?
And believe me, the story is far from over. The archivist leaves us with a teaser for the next chapter of this whole dark fable, the era of negation. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that. Thanks for coming along on this intellectual salvage mission.